Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So we only want to take a look at the shorter time frame. I guess tomorrow in tomorrow's first video we're going to take a look at a daily chart again. No need to do that again. We did that already today at some point. So we're going to focus only on the short term, take a look at if there are any changes to the wave count. First of all, the overall assumption hasn't changed. However, I have shifted the micro structures a little bit, or let's say the market shifted a little bit today, and I had to make some adjustments to the micro projections. However, they don't have any impact to the overall assumptions on the chart or the support levels or anything. There are two wave counts I want to talk about here on this time frame. So first of all, the levels are still relevant. So our upper micro support area is still relevant with the relevant Fibonacci support levels between 67.2k and 62.5k. Actually, I can take out now the 38.2 retracement because we don't need that anymore. I try to keep the chart clean. So we have three support levels to watch: 65.8k, 64.4 and 62.5k. Somewhere in this region, ideally we get a reversal. Ideally the price holds here, the 61.8 retracement. That would really be ideal. At the moment, the market is really just doing a bit of a chopping. It's just chopping around, really, dancing on that 50% retracement level. And the idea that this is part of a third wave is still a reasonable or plausible scenario. And also, it's still plausible to assume that this third wave can take us to 76 to 78k. However, there is currently no confirmation a low is in place. Okay, other than a green candle. Don't get too bullish too early. Don't get too excited too early. There is really no confirmation of a low in place other than a green candle, and that's not really valid. Or let's say it's valid, but it's not really reliable. We need the right structure. So that's one thing. Also, the wave counts still allow for more downside, so I cannot confirm a low in place. In addition to that, with today's spike, I think the market has created another trend line. Let's just double check that. Okay, not yet, but it broke out of the initial channel. So I tried to find another way to maybe redraw the channel. So just to see if we can get any more or less reliable, let's say, trend channel here that we can watch in addition. Yeah, maybe this is one, but we only have 2 touch points. I'd like to have 3 somewhere. That gives us a more reliable channel. There are two, the idea is still that this is a B wave in this third wave to the upside. So the white count still has preference. However, this is really, I did describe it on Twitter as funky. It's funky price action, bit strange price action. Therefore, but again, all of that has been said already. I don't have much trust in the microstructure that developed here. Yeah. The reason is that the proportions are a little bit off. And we had a bit of a morphing wave count today here. Again, basically it just means sideways action, right? But things like that happen when the wave count doesn't give much clarity. Not on this time frame. So the levels are more reliable and relevant than the count itself. Unless we get an impulse, probabilities are fairly balanced. So I had a few discussions today with a few people about different wave counts. I could give you 10 wave counts here, what it's doing here. Is that helpful? No. So pay attention to the levels, pay attention maybe to the trend lines, pay attention to the resistance levels, okay? And until we get an upside impulse, there's no confirmation a low is in place. The idea is that in the white count, and that's in a changed scenario, that we say, okay, we are still moving in the Y wave of wave B, unchanged, but I've labeled this now as a W, X, Y structure in wave Y. Not very reliable, so I did describe it in my signal earlier today to gold members as it's my best guess. If it's a guess, I tell you, okay, it could be something different. And then in the X wave, it's an A, B, C. I posted that and then I realized, there's a different count that we could apply as well. It probably leads to a similar outcome, but makes a bit more sense maybe, but they are fairly balanced in terms of probabilities. Now, by the way, in this white count, the resistance area is basically we are in a C wave of wave X. The resistance area is between 68,950 and 71,511. There could be an X wave rally in a flat structure before we come down again. So pay attention to these levels, but before we get there, there is another area to cross, another resistance area, and that's based on the orange microstructure. It's the same count essentially. We're in a B wave pullback in wave 3, but the microstructure is different. It's an A, B, C structure, but the C wave is 1, 2 in a diagonal, then A, B, C of 3, then 4, 5. And this is the resistance area. The price got rejected. We're between 66,730 and 67,722. That's the resistance area for this count. Any break above that will mean that we can look at the next one. But until we get a 5-wave move up, there is no confirmation of a low. And it will be very difficult for the price to develop a proper 5-wave move up from here. Look at that. That's a big mess. It's a 3-wave move up. Not convinced we've bottomed. Happy to be impressed, but that requires a bit more work. Until then, the support areas remain relevant. I think we face some resistance here, either in the red zone or the resistance area above. Maybe I should change the color here as well to red. So that's the upper, you could say the upper resistance area. Why not call it lower resistance? And upper resistance. And the colors are a bit different. So, but yeah, these are the relevant resistance areas and parameters that I'm watching. Nothing too reliable here. Okay, so don't pay too much attention to the micro structures, but pay attention maybe to the levels. They could be relevant. This looks all still very much like a corrective mess. In corrections, wave counts change frequently. At the moment, I'm still watching for another low. That was the forecast also from the last high that we had. We had a downside move. The market did react to the resistance and we nearly made a new low today, but the market turned around, but hasn't really broken out to the upside in a substantial way. So it's all corrective price action. What can I say? It's a range. We are still in a support area. And yeah, not much more to add. So of course, you know, the bull in me would love the price to go up, but I'm not convinced yet. So I'll keep you updated. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.